Ed Reardon's Week by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nichols. Episode 1. In the Current Climate.
Thank you very much, everybody. Just to be serious for a moment.
You haven't been funny yet, Jez.
Oh, ludicrous, though. You have to grant him that in those plaid trousers.
Shut up! Now, I'm not one to make capital out of human misery, so I think it's only appropriate that we, the Bayou Boys, donate our fees from today's gig to victims of the recent catastrophe.
Here.
Wait a minute. What about my capital?
Come on, Ed, it's only a tenner.
Maybe only a tenner to you, but to me it's a steak witch and an equally essential tin of senior Felix.
You really are an apology for a human being.
Don't mention it. Anyway, victims of what catastrophe? The unfortunate wretches who had to sit through your latest movie, Jazz, not your finest hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, bloody hell. Haven't you been watching the news?
I haven't, no. As one man's protest against the mawkish habit of everybody on television wearing poppies at least 6 weeks before Remembrance Sunday, my set is turned off at the mains.
What, not even on standby? That's telling them.
And you don't read the newspapers either.
Only those that line my drawers. They give me all the information I need, in properly constructed sentences too. And unlike nowadays, with more space given to the words than to the picture of the 12-year-old dunderhead who wrote them, or downloaded them from Face Space or whatever it's called.
Well, I don't think I could do that. I'd miss all the celebrity goss.
Well, you say that, but just this morning, in my Hygiena kitchen unit, I read a very interesting rumour about Gilbert Harding's forthcoming engagement.
I'll believe that when it happens.
Well, don't spoil it for him.
Sunday. My self-imposed news blackout was a consequence not only of the offensively early poppy campaign, but that of Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day and Halloween also, which continue their remorselessly commercialised advance into inappropriate parts of the year. At my local Quickmart recently, I had the opportunity to buy a witch's hat, a chocolate Santa and an Easter bunny on the same baking hot Bank Holiday Monday. By my reckoning, it'll take 3 years for the cycle of feast days to return to their rightful place in the calendar, whereupon Ed Reardon will resume monitoring the media. Meanwhile, it's been a liberating experience, allowing me time to concentrate on my experimental novel about 5 characters who never meet, either at university or indeed in later life, and who die with all their ideals intact. It's tricky to link all the strands together without a car crash, but I'm mulling over the ghost of a non-existent little girl.
Or a cat, indeed, Elgar. Like the Cheshire Cat who disappears and then... I don't know, does it reappear or is that just the grin? Better not go down that route. It'll only end up being voiced by Emma Thompson in the audio book. Bad idea. Let's have a sherry.
My need for paid work is, however, real enough. After my magnanimous contribution at the Lockkeeper's Arms, I was obliged to head south to seek my fortune, or repeat fee, whichever came closer to £10.
Ed, where have you been? I was expecting you like 70 years ago.
Is that why you're dressed as one of the Andrews sisters?
No, it's because I've got my swing dancing class, OK? For which I am now so late and my Lindy hopping will be pants.
I'm sorry, Ping, but I was delayed by repairs to the towpath just south of Batchford, so I had to cut across the fields. And then I was chased by some cows.
Yeah, Onslow Gardens is planet pothole at the moment. Tell me about it.
Well, I set off yesterday afternoon, shortly after leaving you my message.
Yeah, whatever. Am I seeing straight?
Yes, though if I was being hypercritical, I'd say the left calf is a bit smudged.
Yeah, I had to use a magic marker. Oh, B''M. Where's the Tipex?
Ping, what is this time warp I seem to have entered?
It's the current financial climate, Ed. Make do and mend. Oh, why's your beard gone purple? Oh, and it's full of seeds.
That would be the blackberries I picked for my breakfast, which also accounts for the cuts on my forearms and neck.
Were you trespassing on other people's property? And thieving in the current climate?
I was also starving.
Those blackberries could have been someone's jam, you spiv. Now you'll have to make up for it by buying some of Ping's Fabby-Doo green tomato chutney.
I'd love to, but...
$7.50 a jar or £15 for 2. Come on, I'm cutting my own throat here.
But as my message and indeed dishevelled appearance might suggest, I'm in need of employment to get me through the winter months.
Ed, hasn't a word I've been saying sunk in?
Some of it has, yes. I have to say the Lindy hopping foxed me a bit.
Haven't you heard? It's the new austerity. The good years are over.
What good years would those be? I suppose 1978 wasn't that bad.
And it's all your fault. You baby boomers have been living off the fat of the land for too long, and now we're all having to pay the price.
I do apologise for having single-handedly brought about the credit crunch.
You can exaggerate, Ed, but South Ken is almost entirely allotments.
Well, I'm available for digging work, if you could set up a meeting for me, Ping.
So, what's useless Eustace on the scrounge for now? Have you put the proposition to him yet, Ping?
What proposition?
I tried to, Felix, but he was too busy bragging about scrumping other people's hard-earned fruit.
Yes, it all fits. It gives me no pleasure to say this, Ed, but it's your generation that's landed us in this muddle, squandering the legacy passed on to you by my generation.
What legacy was that? Polio? Sunday night at the London Palladium?
So ungrateful. Ed, stop trying to blame everyone and think about someone else for 1 millisecond, because we have just taken on the most disturbingly fresh and mesmerisingly compelling voice of his generation. He is so hot.
He's hotter than the jam inside Jam Really Polly.
It's only Ben Herbert.
And what does Ben Herbert only want writing, a recipe book or a celebrity novel?
You must have seen his Dude, Where's My Career column in The Observer.
No, I wouldn't have, because I don't
Because
actually...
Ed Reardon's a member of the Never Had It So Good Brigade. I'm all right, Jack, and past the Sunday Telegraph property section.
Yeah, can we get back to the proposition that might enable me to eat?
Well, poor Ben, as you know, had a most frightful time finding a job when he came down from Oxford. But he didn't whinge about it like you. He got on his rollerblades and went out and looked for work.
And came back with a newspaper column and a 3-book deal.
All about how difficult it is to find a job.
Yes, except now he's too busy to write the books about it. I mean, he's got to be in Mock the Week tonight.
Oh, well, a glance at the wall in the gents at Shepherd's Bush tube station should furnish him with all the material he needs.
Good. Well, you can run that past him when you meet this afternoon.
Where? In the local Salvation Army hostel? Some godforsaken skateboarding park?
Lord's Cricket Ground. Poor Ben hasn't even got a London office. He has to work in the long room. It's so lucky his grandfather was president. And you'll need a tie.
It was something of a novelty to be making my way to the home of cricket for work purposes, when so often the same journey has been made with the sole purpose of avoiding work. Since time immemorial, Lord's has been a refuge for gentlemen of letters who should be elsewhere, to rival the reading room at the British Museum and the deck chairs in Green Park. Many's the hour I've whiled away, dozing beneath Father Time, feet resting on a can of Watney's Party 4, incommunicado and safe from the cares of the world, be it a wife, a girlfriend, or an irate producer of Blake's 7, the latter pair being one and the same for a brief time. On reflection, perhaps 1978 wasn't such a good year after all, apart from Botham's century against Pakistan. So it was with some trepidation that I presented myself at the entrance to the pavilion, ready for my first ever genuine meeting at the grand old ground.
Sorry, sir. Cannot allow you in.
Why not?
You are improperly dressed.
I am wearing a tie. Oh, is it the tears in my trousers?
No, sir, that's entirely in order, as are the uneven length of the legs and consequent exposure of white ankle and non-matching hosiery. In that respect, sir, you've got MCC member written all over you.
Then what's the difficulty?
It's what you're not wearing. Poppy, sir.
Oh, for heaven's sake, it's still the cricket season.
The Fallen don't abide by the first-class fixture list, sir. It's too late for them. They haven't heard of 2020 either.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I've got an appointment with, here it is, Ben Herbert.
You must be Ed Reardon. It's all right, Eric. I won't take him into the long room.
If you wouldn't mind, sir. Letting our friends the ladies in is one thing.
Absolutely. Point taken. Come on, Ed.
Perhaps I should hold my bag up against my chest like this.
BOAC. Cool. So, Ping tells me you're the go-to guy for, like, books.
I have written a few.
Awesome. How many?
Well, rather more than there are people here.
What, like 20?
A few more, probably.
You see, that to me is so impressive. I'm like, wow. Because I haven't ever done any work.
Really? You seem to have landed yourself a 3-book deal from this lack of industry.
Well, I tell you how it happened, okay? When I came down from uni, I'm like, I think I'll be a surgeon or maybe a film director for the BBC or someplace. I can't remember where it was I went. But anyway, big door, slammed in my face. Same with the post office.
Plenty of casual work there, surely.
Yeah, I knew they were lying about there not being a job because that guy left to run ITV.
Demoralising experience for anyone trying to get a toehold on the employment ladder.
Exactly. But then I was spending the weekend at my uncle's, and he's like, I've got this Sunday newspaper that needs filling every week.
Ah, the plot thins.
So he said I should write some stuff about the problems I've got, that my whole generation's got.
Is this Generation X, or are we up to Z yet?
No, Zed's gone already. That's the thing, we're so badly off, we haven't even got a letter named after us.
Well, can't you go round again from the start, like they do with the car registration numbers?
Oh, yes. Can I use it in my column? Because I'm a bit short for next week.
By all means, if we're going to be working together. Are we going to be working together?
We so are. They want a novel. I'm going to base that on my column, Dude, Where's My Career? Then there's a recipe book for, like, people with no money.
Dude, where's my food, presumably?
Oh, bit sketchy. It's like a pun. Anyway, there's a team of girls at the publishers, some of them are really fit, actually, and they're going through all the other publishers' recipe books to see what they can nick.
Oh, when you're on the breadline, needs must, especially with trust funds paying barely 1% at the moment.
That's right, it is hard. So what I need you to do, Ed, is help out with book number 3, How to Survive with, like, no cash. Do you think you could do that?
I've managed it for the best part of a lifetime. I'll start thinking about it on the walk home tonight.
Walking. That could be a whole chapter. How to save on cabs. Oh, it's so great to find someone of your generation who understands.
Oh, really? What does he get paid for playing a shot like that? 100,000 a year?
He gets 200 for his column in my uncle's paper.
What's this?
This, Pearl, is Chapter 1 of Hard Times, which I'd like us to discuss in tonight's class. So I've photocopied the opening pages on the machine downstairs.
Haven't made a very good job of it, have you? Mine says Hard Tim.
Well, look at Olive's copy, Stan.
Mine's the same. Hard Tim by Charles Dick.
I haven't come all the way here and paid £1.50 for filth.
It's not filth. It's a classic of social observation by the greatest moral commentator in the language. Look at my copy.
No, thank you. Not if it's got language as well.
Then I'll read it to you, because I want to demonstrate how it's possible to create great art from the desperate economic conditions of the time, in contrast to the feeble response from our modern award-winning novelists to what has wearisomely become known as the current climate.
David Coleman. He were a good commentator.
The best.
Yes, if we could just focus on what I'm here to teach you about, albeit at rates of pay even Mr. Gradgrind wouldn't have tried to get away with.
Yep, Mr. Grandstand, that's what they called him.
It's Gradgrind.
Grad Grin, it says on my sheet.
I don't think this global recession's as bad as they're making out.
Oh, it's like global warming. It were freezing on that bus tonight. It's just a con.
Mortgages are down to what they were in the old days.
Macaroons are back.
Never been away in our house.
I think we may be in danger of trying to cover too much ground here. So, Hard Times by Charles Dickens. Now, what I want is facts. Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts. The scene was a plain, bare, monotonous vault.
I think people want taking out of themselves when times are hard. We're all going to see Calendar Girls next week.
It means we won't be here for the class.
Right, that also means I'll be another £20 down.
I've been before, but it was restricted view last time. So that was a false economy, especially with Linda Bellingham in the cast.
And as Remembrance Sunday's coming up, they're doing something topical.
Instead of a sunflower, Miss October's going to be wearing a giant poppy and nothing else.
That's lovely.
Look, I'd be grateful if you could keep quiet about your absence next week.
Dishonest as well as disrespectful.
Yes, where's your poppy, Mr. Reardon?
It's waiting for the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month.
Times can't be that hard.
Pity. It'd cover up that hole in your pulley.
And you'd feel an awful lot better about yourself.
There's some facts for you.
And another awesome tip for a cheap crimbo. Oh, just a minute. Didn't I use awesome somewhere else? Yeah. Failing that, turn your trousers inside out. Awesome. Fabby-doo. That'll do. And another Fabby-doo tip for a cheap crimbo is... Oh, I've forgotten what it is now. No, Elgar, you've got wet paws. Go and sleep in the recycling box. Instead of spending a fortune, buying new cards, why not rock up to the supermarket paper bank around mid-Jan and fill your boots with a big handful of other people's recycled cards, yeah? Add your signature to the one that's already on it. Change the date of the coming year in which you say you're definitely gonna catch up, and end of. Who's this? What do you want, Jazz?
How do you know it was me?
I've got a thing for screening unwanted calls, e.g. this one.
Have you also got a jacket that isn't an anorak and some decent trousers?
Why?
I'm taking you out for a smart lunch. What's that? What are you doing?
Nothing, just, turning something inside out. Searching in my sock drawer for a matching pair, I came across not only a story from 1966 about the still unresolved theft of the World Cup, my money's on those unsporting Uruguayans, but also a vintage poppy, sturdy wire stem and the words Hague Fund stamped on its black Bakelite button. This I was prepared to wear in public, especially having been spat at while poppyless only that morning in Ladbrokes, adding insult to the injury of failing to raise the funds for breakfast via a virtual dog race. An invitation from Jazz, or Milvain of the movies, as his asinine website dubs him, always carries with it an ulterior motive and a certain amount of personal abuse, admittedly on both sides. But a meal is a meal, after all, especially when it's served in London's most exclusive austerity-themed restaurant. I must say, Jazz, this is a breathtaking view of the foundations of Earl's Court Station.
Yeah, very zeitgeisty. You have to book months in advance to get in here, so I've reserved this table every Thursday for the rest of the year.
Isn't there a danger of it going out of fashion by then?
Not while I'm a customer, Mick. Now, shall we have another round of bread and dripping and maybe a dangerous second pot of tea?
This is your treat, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
Then maybe they can leave the bag in this time. I mean, I know it's another tenner.
Not a problem. When you're ready, Arthur!
Oh, just a sec. I've got 2 Welsh rabbits and a pig's trot on the go here.
So, Jazz, what have I got to do for this? Because I realise there's no such thing as a free lunch and meat fritter.
Right. Jazz Milvain is on his uppers. Stony broke, no job, no prospects.
Are you teasing me? Because this really isn't fair if it turns out to be untrue.
Well, obviously I'm not any of those things. But the Beeb is making another series of Rich and Jobless, where famous and successful people find out what life is really like on Skid Row for people like you.
Yeah, nice idea. And so philanthropic.
I think so. And they're paying me an absolute fortune. But that's the thing, you see. I know how to earn a quick 500 grand, but how would I go about getting 50 quid like you do when you wear a sandwich board or a Santa outfit or whatever it is? I mean, how do you get those jobs?
If I could just put you right on a couple of things. A, I've never been a Santa.
No, I guess you'd flunk the joviality test.
But more important, Jazz, I'm afraid I refuse to pander to the cynical courting of popularity and emotional blackmail that clog up the television networks these days.
This really is excellent dripping. Is that a poppy you're wearing?
Yes, I found an old one at home.
And you don't feel too, what's the phrase, emotionally blackmailed into wearing it too early?
Well, I suppose somebody might think I'd sold out. Although I doubt they'd have the nerve to say it if they just made a film in which Ricky Gervais thinks he's Jesus.
You should never compromise on your principles or give up on your dreams. I think that's going to be the message I want to get across in Rich and Jobless. Now, if you can give me, say, 20 ideas on a sheet of A4.
Right, here's your bread and scrapes, gents. Sorry about the wait.
I'll take mine with me, I think. Sorry not to be of more service, Jazz.
Fair enough. Oh, I couldn't borrow your poppy, could I? I've got to go on the culture show to plug Jesus of Basingstoke.
Over here, Ed.
Oh, well done, Ben. Managed to save me a deck chair.
Oh, yeah. Every time someone tried to take it, I started singing Kumbaya. These tips of yours are really great.
Or you could have tried beckoning them to join you with a leer, like this.
Oh, yeah.
Very good for keeping an empty seat next to you on a train, I find. Well, I'm glad you've read the chapters I sent, anyway.
I've collected enough dog ends from this patch of grass for a whole new cigarette. I don't even smoke, unless it's a stag weekend or something. And that's another genius idea.
What do you mean, saving money by just having your stag night in a pub?
Instead of going to Prague for 5 days. How'd you come up with stuff like that?
Oh, well, once the wheels start turning, you know.
And it's not just saving money tips. It's like a whole lifestyle thing you've got going here.
So, if you're not going to run your finger around the inside of that yoghurt pot...
BMG, dude.
What?
Be my guest.
Saving on breath, too. It's very economical. I'll just note that down. I'll go in the same chapter as OMG and LOL.
You seem to get a real buzz out of this writing.
That's what one does. Giving me the position in the world I'm in today. There's a bit of hazelnut in here. Besides, the sooner it's done, the sooner we get our money from the publishers.
Yeah. Actually, that's why I asked for this meeting.
What's the matter? What's gone wrong now?
Nothing, why?
Because it has happened before, you know, this many, many times. What do you mean, nothing?
Nothing. Except, well, I'm struggling a bit with this novel.
Oh, is that all?
Whew. Nearly had to smoke that hybrid cigarette. You wouldn't like to help me write the arsing thing, would you?
Oh, my dear fellow.
Same deal as the tips book.
I didn't know we had one yet, till you approved the first 10,000 words.
Yeah, 50-50.
Really?
Ping thought we could get away with paying you less, like 5%, whatever, but I thought half was only fair, seeing as you're doing all the work.
Oh, excellent. OK, now, what do you think of this for a plot? Dude, 5 characters who never meet, or go to university together, or become cynical.
Wow.
Or, different direction.
Hey, Josh.
They're women in a Japanese prisoner of war camp.
Yeah, I should be able to get there. Yeah, I better ask my mate the way, because he knows everything. Ed, do you know where Downing Street is?
Just across the park.
Cool. I'll be there in like 1 minute.
No, you have to stick to the path on those rollerblades.
Okay. Say 5. Later, Ed. Gotta go. Cheers, bye.
Yeah, I'll make a start on the novel.
Excuse me. Anyone sitting there?
No, BMG. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Come and join me.
Yeah, no, you're all right.
Crying,
Cheers.
Lord, Kumbaya. Friday. To adopt the parlance of sports reporters when a pampered young footballer does what he's paid more in a week than I've been paid in 30 years to do, and actually puts the ball in the back of the net, it was as though all my Christmases had come at once, which of course they do in the current economic climate, punctuated by weekly end-of-season sales in the high street. Suddenly, I found myself in full and soon-to-be well-paid employment, not only writing, but writing about what I knew. The brief, to make penury both cool and hot simultaneously, was helped in no small measure by my sense of euphoria at the news that Jazz Milvain's egregious appearance on The Culture Show had been followed by outrage and a ban from all BBC programmes for the immediate future. Not for blasphemy, but after a sharp-eyed viewer had spotted that Jazz was wearing a second-hand poppy. It was as though all my VE and VJ days had come at once.
That wasn't you, was it, Ed, who finked on Jazz?
Certainly not. I'm no quisling, Ping. I admit I lent him the offending poppy. I trimmed the frayed petals with a tiny pair of scissors that came through the letterbox in a free sewing kit, courtesy of the Red Cross. As you say, make do and mend.
You are on such a roll. Ben's books are going to be so mega, and that won't even be the end of the meganess. It'll be the start of the, beginning
of the meganess, as Churchill so nearly said.
You never really quite nailed it with Jane Seymour's household hints, but these tips are in a different league.
A different font, anyway.
But the one about hiding in the luggage space underneath a National Express coach and pretending to be a dwarf to get into Wimbledon free, they sound so much better in Ben's voice than Jane's. Ooh, they've sent through a killer cover.
With a picture of Ben sleeping in a cardboard box?
No, on a plug-tastic quote from Stephen Fry. This book made me long to snuggle down on the pavement in my apple-back packaging.
So, since this book is practically rubbing shoulders with the racks of baby clothes in Asda, as we used to say during the last show, what, no advance?
Ed, come back this afternoon and we'll have a cheque for you for 60 long ones.
I couldn't possibly have the £60 now, could I? It's just Waitrose are doing a balmy Armistice Day offer on Gewürztraminer.
It's 60 grand, Ed.
Oh, well, that'll do very nicely indeed. Of course. Nearly 200 quid a tip. I could almost pay for my own Centre Court strawberries. So, when can I...
After lunch, because Araminta's got to do the paperwork, and she has to get her turnips in this morning, or they will be aggro carnage.
Of course.
So, you go and have your meeting with his Benness about Book 2, come back, and we'll have a 5-figure cheque waiting for you before the bank's shut.
You couldn't just say that again, could you? I want to remember this moment, Ping, with you standing exactly as you are now.
No time for that, Ed. Ben's waiting in his office.
Where is it this time? The bandstand on Victoria Embankment?
No, he's got a real office now. Haven't you heard?
The Tsar will see you now, sir.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right. No need to remove the sandals.
Oh, good.
This way, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Ed! I'm dead! Oh, look at that. Zapped by the Pharaoh's guards. Just when I'd got my hands on the scroll of Thoth. Anyway, that's enough work for one day. What do you think of my cool new office, Ed?
Yes, very impressive. Is it hereditary, all this, or...?
Oh, no. They just texted me, and they're like, do you want to be graduate employment czar? To, look out for young people. Must have read the columns.
Yeah, so we're both doing pretty well out of the downturn, aren't we, Ben? Me with a fat commission, you in the corridors of power.
Yeah, there's a really steep one in the Treasury. That red lino, you can get up to 30 mph on your blades. Actually, the record's 31. Toby from the Admiralty. Charlotte's really hacked off, but she still reckons her family got a crap decision at the Battle of Bosworth.
So can we sign off on the book of tips before we move on to the novel? Any last-minute thoughts?
Yeah, one biggie.
I know you weren't absolutely sold on decorating a room with wallpaper samples, so I just cut it. That way we can get our 60,000 each and move on.
Actually, that's biggie number B. The advance. Not as big a biggie as the first one.
Which is?
Well, it's like I'm in government now, Ed. I mean, look around you.
What, at the table football or the chocolate fountain?
I mean, if my name's on that book of tips, it's like I'm encouraging antisocial behaviour, or shoplifting. You know, that one about stealing flowers from a cemetery.
Well, it's a perfectly good Mother's Day hint. I mean, if you spent your student loan, or if perhaps you're a bit older and you haven't quite come up to her expectations, I mean, it can happen.
But it's sending out the wrong message to young people. I'm here to try and help my generation to contribute to the big society.
All right, look, forget the tips, they're gone. Let's just try and get the 60,000 quid each for the novel about being poor.
That's the other thing. In the current climate, I just can't look at myself in the mirror of my parents' bathroom, either here or in Norfolk. I wouldn't feel right accepting that kind of money.
Well, you wouldn't have to, you spoiled little squid.
Whoa, where did that one come from?
It comes from 40 years of being exploited by the ruling class and MCC and people with parents. I mean, why is it always the writers? It's always the poor bloody infantry who suffer. I look in the mirror in the morning, I can't afford to shave. No, I didn't mean any of that. Look, let's just try, let's just be sensible and try and salvage something from this.
No. Ed, I'm really sorry. I'm going to call Ping and tell her it's not happening, but I wanted you to be the first to know. Well, I've tweeted Stephen Fry, obviously. But look, since you're here, why don't you take this Wii control and play the Avatar game with me?
Thank you. I've got to hit the towpath if I'm going to find my blackberry bush before darkness falls.
OK. But don't go without this.
What is it?
It's a goodie bag to encourage young people to get involved. My idea, every time a young person votes, they get one of these. There's a jigsaw with the Houses of Parliament. I Heart the Big Society badge. 2-for-1 pizza voucher.
Well, I suppose I could take my cat.
Oh, don't forget this, Ed.
A poppy.
Lest we, forget, yeah?
Oh, cool.
There. Fabby-doo. So you see, Ed, you're not going home empty-handed.
Oi! Come on, you! Out of the luggage compartment.
I'm terribly sorry, I must have dropped off.
Yeah, well, not on my bus, you don't. And take the poppy off. Yes. It's November the 12th. Of course.
Ed Reardon's Week starred Christopher Douglas, Stephanie Cole, Henry DeVass, John Fortune, Simon Greenall, Philip Jackson, Rita May, Jeff McGivern, Barunka O'Shaughnessy, Tom Price and Jeffrey Whitehead. It was written by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nichols. The producer was Dawn Ellis.